Welcome, developers and DevOps engineers. I am your expert technical instructor. Today, we are focusing on an essential domain of the GH-300 certification, the precise steps required for installing and authenticating the GitHub Copilot command line interface. Let's conquer the terminal. Welcome, developers and DevOps engineers. Today, we are executing a deep dive into the exact procedures for installing the GitHub Copilot command line interface, an essential objective for the GH-300 GitHub Copilot Mastery certification. While IDE extensions provide excellent autocomplete assistance, the Copilot CLI elevates your productivity by bringing powerful, terminal-native agentic artificial intelligence directly to your command line environment. Before you can execute terminal commands using natural language, you must ensure your system meets several strict prerequisites. First, you must possess an active GitHub Copilot subscription. This can be an individual, pro, business, or enterprise tier plan. Secondly, if you are operating within a corporate environment, you must verify that your organization owner or enterprise administrator has not explicitly disabled the Copilot CLI feature within the enterprise policies. If it is disabled administratively, local installation will ultimately fail to authenticate. From an operating system perspective, Windows users face a specific requirement. You must be running PowerShell version 6.0 or higher. The Copilot CLI brings autonomous coding partner capabilities to your terminal, capable of reading local files and executing complex scripts. But this power requires a proper, secure installation foundation. Why do we need the CLI? Developers spend a massive portion of their day in the terminal executing builds, deploying infrastructure, and running Git commands. The CLI reduces context switching, keeping you completely focused. The installation process is versatile, catering to diverse enterprise environments and operating systems. You must master each of these installation paths, as the GH-300 exam will test your ability to select the correct installation method based on specific environmental constraints, such as restricted package managers or automated CI/CD pipeline deployments. This configuration object highlights the strict environmental prerequisites required before deploying the Copilot CLI. Specifically, notice the Windows shell requirement and the Node.js requirement. If an enterprise policy explicitly blocks CLI access at the organizational root, all downstream installations will successfully download the binaries, but will permanently fail during the OAuth authentication handshake. This flowchart illustrates the pre-deployment verification sequence. The most universal method for installing the GitHub Copilot CLI across various operating systems is utilizing NPM, the Node package manager. Because the Copilot CLI is heavily reliant on modern JavaScript runtimes, there is a strict prerequisite that your machine must have Node.js version 22 or later installed. This is a highly testable detail for the GH-300 exam. Older Node environments will fail to execute the binary. To perform the standard installation, you simply execute the command npm install -g at -github -copilot. The -g flag is critical here, as it installs the package globally, ensuring the Copilot command is added to your system's path and is accessible from any project directory. If you are an early adopter or testing upcoming features, you can opt to install the pre-release version by appending the @pre-release tag to your installation string. However, enterprise engineers must be aware of a specific security configuration caveat. If your system's global npm configuration file, located at /.npmrc, contains the setting ignore scripts equals true, the standard installation will silently fail to configure necessary executable bindings. In this scenario, you must execute a specific alternative npm command to forcefully rebuild the binaries after the initial download. Understanding these deep dive edge cases, such as handling restrictive npm configurations and managing exact Node.js version requirements, separates novice users from certified experts. By standardizing your team's deployment scripts around npm, you guarantee a consistent, cross-platform installation experience for developers working on macOS, Linux, and Windows subsystems simultaneously. Let's move on to native package managers. These shell commands demonstrate the cross-platform npm installation methodology. The -g flag ensures the package is installed globally rather than locally in the current directory. Appending at pre-release fetches the latest experimental builds. After installation, executing Copilot version validates that the binary was successfully mapped to your system's path environment variable. This visual outlines the npm installation logic tree. The system first enforces the strict Node.js version 22 or later requirement. Next, it evaluates the local npm configuration. If ignore scripts is active, standard binding fails, requiring a workaround. While the Node Package Manager offers excellent cross-platform compatibility, many enterprise Windows environments strictly prefer utilizing native system package management to maintain rigorous security compliance and inventory tracking. For Windows users, the officially supported native installation method leverages winget, the Windows Package Manager. Winget allows administrators to easily script the installation of the Copilot CLI without requiring developers to independently download and manage Node.js runtimes. To execute this installation, you open your terminal and run the command wingit install GitHub.Copilot. The package manager will securely fetch the validated binary directly from the official Microsoft repositories and automatically configure the necessary environment variables and path additions. Just as with the npm method, developers who wish to experiment with bleeding-edge features can append the --pre-release flag to the wingget command to fetch the latest beta builds. It is absolutely crucial to reiterate the terminal prerequisite here. The Copilot CLI integration on Windows relies heavily on modern shell features, which explicitly mandates the presence of PowerShell version 6.0 or higher. If you attempt to utilize the Copilot CLI within the legacy Windows command prompt or an outdated version of PowerShell, you will experience severe degraded functionality and unexpected command parsing errors. As an enterprise architect preparing for the GH-300 exam, you must be able to confidently recommend the wingget installation path for Windows-exclusive engineering teams, ensuring rapid, automated provisioning of the AI assistant, while strictly adhering to corporate workstation management protocols and security baselines. Furthermore, leveraging wingget seamlessly integrates the Copilot CLI into your standard Windows update cycles, ensuring that your developers are always running the most secure, patched versions of the agentic AI tool without requiring manual intervention or separate updater scripts. This native integration reduces the total cost of ownership for IT operations teams. These PowerShell commands represent the optimal installation path for managed Windows endpoints. Wingget abstracts away the underlying dependencies, interacting directly with the OS package manifest. Transitioning to Unix-based environments, GitHub provides equally robust native installation methods for macOS and Linux developers. The primary, most streamlined approach utilizes Homebrew, the ubiquitous package manager for Apple and Linux ecosystems. By simply executing the command brew install Copilot-CLI, Homebrew handles the complete downloading, linking, and path configuration of the binaries. For developers testing experimental capabilities, appending the --head flag to the brew command installs the latest unreleased development build. However, in highly locked-down enterprise server environments or automated CI/CD container deployments, where package managers like Homebrew or NPM are intentionally omitted to reduce attack surfaces, GitHub provides a standalone installation script. You can securely download this script from the official GitHub Copilot CLI repository and pipe it directly to Bash. If you execute the script as the root user using sudo bash, it will automatically install the binary to the system-wide /usr/local/bin directory, making it accessible to all users. If executed as a standard non-root user, it safely defaults to your local home directory under ~/.local. This script is highly configurable via environment variables, which is a frequent topic on the GH-300 exam. You can explicitly set the prefix environment variable to define a custom installation destination path, or set the version environment variable to forcefully install a specific, historically pinned version of the CLI. This precise version pinning capability is absolutely essential for DevOps engineers who must guarantee immutable, reproducible deployment pipelines across hundreds of build servers without risking unexpected updates, breaking automated workflows. This dual-method example showcases both the developer-friendly Homebrew approach and the enterprise-grade script approach. By utilizing the export prefix and export version environment variables prior to piping the script into Bash, an infrastructure engineer guarantees that exactly version 0.0.369 of the CLI is deployed to the highly customized /opt/custom_bin directory, bypassing the default root installation paths. Here we visualize the Unix installation decision matrix. If a package manager is present, Homebrew is the preferred path. After successfully downloading and installing the binaries using your preferred package manager, the GitHub Copilot CLI remains completely dormant until it is securely authenticated. To initiate this process, simply type the command Copilot into your terminal and press Enter. If this is your very first time launching the application, the CLI will detect that no valid session tokens exist and will immediately prompt you to execute the /login command. Upon entering /-login, the terminal will provide a device activation code and instruct you to open a web browser to complete standard OAuth authentication against your GitHub Enterprise identity. Once you successfully grant permissions in the browser, the secure token is transmitted back to your local machine and stored securely in your system's credential manager. However, authentication is only the first security hurdle. The moment you launch the CLI in a new project directory, Copilot enforces a strict, exam-critical security boundary. It halts execution and explicitly asks, "Do you trust the files in this folder?" Because the Copilot CLI operates as an autonomous agent capable of reading source code, modifying files, and executing arbitrary shell scripts, you must explicitly confirm that the current workspace is safe. If you select Yes, and remember this folder for future sessions, the directory path is permanently added to your trusted directories list, which is stored in the config.json file located within the .copilot folder in your home directory. This defense in-depth authorization model guarantees that malicious code downloaded from the internet cannot inadvertently trigger the AI agent to execute destructive commands without your direct, manual intervention and explicit trust verification. This terminal transcript demonstrates the very first interaction sequence a developer will experience. After executing the initial binary, the system mandates the /login command to trigger the OAuth device flow. Immediately following successful authentication, the integrated security guardrail activates, forcefully requesting human confirmation to trust the local file paths before the agent is permitted to read or interact with any local source code. This flowchart traces the initial launch security sequence. Upon executing the Copilot command, the CLI checks for a valid token, triggering the browser OAuth flow if missing. While the interactive, browser-based OAuth login flow is perfect for individual developers working on personal workstations, it is fundamentally incompatible with automated, headless environments such as CI/CD pipelines, cron jobs, or containerized backend services. For these advanced deployment scenarios, the GH-300 certification requires you to master headless authentication using personal access tokens. To authorize the CLI programmatically, you must navigate to your GitHub developer settings and generate a fine-grained personal access token. It is an absolute, critical requirement that this token must be created under your personal user account, not as an organization token, and it must explicitly include the highly specific Copilot request's permission scope. Once this secure token is generated, you do not use the /login command. Instead, you inject the token directly into the terminal's runtime environment. Copilot CLI is programmed to scan for specific environment variables during initialization, evaluating them in a strict order of precedence. First, it checks for Copilot_GitHub_token, then GH_token, and finally, the standard GitHub_token. By exporting your fine-grained token to the Copilot_GitHub_token variable, you instantly and silently authenticate the CLI, enabling powerful programmatic executions using the -p flag. This allows your deployment scripts to seamlessly query the AI for commit summaries, log analysis, or automated code reviews without ever pausing for human interaction. Mastering these diverse installation strategies, environmental prerequisites, and complex authentication flows guarantees that you can securely deploy agentic AI anywhere in your enterprise. Thank you for joining this deep dive. To solidify your knowledge and ace the GH-300 exam, visit quicktechie.com for interactive practice labs. In automated pipelines, user interaction is impossible. By injecting a securely generated fine-grained personal access token directly into the Copilot_GitHub_token environment variable, the CLI bypasses the interactive login prompt entirely. The subsequent command uses the -p flag to execute a one-shot programmatic query, combined with the -s silent flag to return pure text analysis of the build log without rendering conversational UI elements. Our final diagram illustrates the headless automation lifecycle. A CI/CD pipeline injects a PAT containing the Copilot request scope.
Welcome to quicktechie.com. So just type in quicktechie.com here. Then you can go through the material which is provided by Quicktechie. So we have first of all video courses which you can go here and you can find the various video courses across the technologies as well as finance domain. So if you see in Microsoft, we have 8 programs currently running. Next, you can go through the ebooks available. So all the ebooks which are in PDF format today, and you can download this. So let me go through Microsoft certification ebooks. You can click on any of this and you can see this is the PDF available for you to download. So these are the premium ebook mostly available on quicktechie.com platform only. Now the second part is exam simulator. As we primarily focus on the all technology companies and finance domain certification preparation material. So this is company wide listed here and you can go through this. So let me go through the Microsoft one again. You can see this is all Microsoft related certification. AB 730 exam, if you open it, so you can see here this, and all the practice papers are available here. Today we have 5 practice paper. So click on the first practice paper. It would load the questions. You can answer this question. This is way you can answer it and you can move to the next question. Now third material we wanted to highlight is an audiobook. So we started recently with the audiobooks as well, which you can listen on the go, and various technology wise ebooks are available. And at the last, this is our alumni. These people who are subscribing to our courses and this platform, they are all listed here. And at the end, I wanted to tell you, if you find any course or training or certification preparation material which you want to get us prepared for yourself, please put on the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, on Udemy, or on this platform itself, quicktechie.com, then please put the comment, or you can even send an email to using this contact us options here. You can directly do the WhatsApp message. You can call us on this numbers as well.